A true and faithful relation of what passed for many years between Dr. John Dee and some spirits. Meric Casaubon, 1659. And before we get into January 14th, at Praga, Actio Prima Post Reditum, we can look at the letter. And yes, Dee's pleased at not only his safety, but their good health. And he was moved with his household and such by a great expense, and he's grateful for that. And to them be merit for his doings regarding that. And he's pleased at their good opinion of their work. And there's the first action of the night, prayers poured out to God in the usual manner. Continue. Monday, Kirka, 9 Horum a Media Nocte, Percibus, Adium de Mor Fusis, eo Invocato Lumin, Auxilioque die adjustem veritatem intelligendum eo cum virtut tractum, etc. D said, "Here is D with one veil afore his face, as it were a haircloth of ash color. I know him not yet. I see a garden full of fruit, diverse sorts. In the midst of it is a place higher than the rest. On that place standeth a round house. It hath 4 corners within, and 4 windows. Every window is round, and hath 4 round partitions. Round also. It hath 4 doors, and at the east door is 1 step, at the south a step, and at the north 3. And at the west door 4 steps. The first door is white, like crystal, transparent. The south door is red, of a high color, transparent. The north door is bright black, not to be through seen as the rest. The west is green, like an emerald stone. So is the south door, like a ruby. The doors be all plain, the house within, as it may be judged by the transparent doors, seemeth to be white and empty." Now, when you get into the other realms, one of the things that you find is that you can encounter colors and even shapes that don't exist here in this physical realm. It's like it has its own physics. And in the margin it says, D. Levanael, as may appear, February 5th post. Ultima parte at Kelly, note the house is round without and square within. Levanael, okay. Edward Kelly says, "He that hath his face covered openeth the east door, and all the house seemeth to be on fire like a furnace. fire within doth wave, and move about the house, and by the roof. Now he openeth the west door, and there appeareth as if all the house were a fountain full of water, and there run diverse streams in the same one water, whereof one doth go and come, as if it ebbed and flowed, which stream doth go about all the rest by the sides of the house, that is, if it were the ocean sea compassing the world, the next stream within that moveth from four sidesward, and make in manner four triangles, or rather cones, of water, whose vertices rest cut off, as it were, by the middle stream of water, which occupieth the middle or centre of the house, and is in circular form environed. And other matter of stream there is, which cometh from the four corners of an inmost square, and so run diametraliter or contradictory wise toward that circular middle stream. The middle stream seemeth to issue at the very centre of the place, and so mount up, and making an arc of his course, doth seem to fall. Circle iter in one circumference. Edward Kelly says the fire also had diversity in it. He said, I would you had noted the diversity in the fires also. The entity said, those that learn truly learn by part. And at the margin we have 1 fire, 2 water. Edward Kelly says the color of the water in the center is most pure white. The waters of that St. Andrew's Cross are like a water, somewhat saffronish colored. The waters of the triangles are somewhat like a waterish blue, which appeareth most in the top of the arches of their flowing, for all springs otherwise. The uttermost part is of quicksilver shew, as if it were somewhat mortified. He said, in the figure following, you may gather a better and more easy understanding of this description of the water streams. Here is a blank or void space in the original copy, but no figure. And below we have A22. Edward Kelly said, now he openeth the fire door again. The fire appeareth in a square place, and there appear 4 fires filling the whole place, leaving nothing vacuum. One of these fires seemeth to rise from the center of the place, and to go in low arches to the 4 corners of the house. The house seemeth to have 14 foot long in every side. The arches of these fires seem to come from a trunk of fire which riseth from about the center, and seemeth to be 4 foot over in the diameter. This trunk seemeth to be high 3/4 of the height of the place. The place seemeth to be as high as it is broad. On the top of this fiery trunk seemeth the fire to be in form of a fiery globe, having 6 foot his diameter, which fire reverberateth and rolleth in itself. From the sides of the trunk, between the said globe and the 4 said arches, goeth up fire triangularly, filling all, saving that which remaineth filled by the flames of fire which ariseth from the globe to the 4 corners of the house, filling all the place above the globe, as by the figure annexed more plainly may appear. Annexed. Okay, in the margin here's a blank or void space in the original copy, but no figure. Well, if it's the copy, but maybe there's a visionary experience they had when looking at it. Edward Kelly said, note the color of the fire of 4 arches is very red, the rest are very pure. Irial, cadent, and so on. The motion of the trunk fire is swiftest. The original center of all these fires seemeth to be very little. Etterkelly now said, Now he openeth the red door. The house seemeth darkish, of color of the smoke of a wax candle being put out. And in the margin we have the word, we have 3 in air. The entity said, By itself it is not, but by the sun it is clear. Edward Kelly said, It hath 4 motions in it also, every one moving more swiftly than the other. All from the middle of the house, 3 of them move archwise to the sides. The first and the second arise to half the height of the place. The third occupieth the other half. The fourth goeth upright to the top of the house. The second his space that he striketh against on the wall is double to the space of the wall against which the first smiteth. Here is a blank or void space in the original copy, but no figure. Edward Kelly said, Now he openeth the black bright door, and the house there seemed full of black dust, like gunpowder color, or somewhat of leadish color. And in the margin we have 4 earth, which also happens to be your basic order for the tarot cards. Wands, cups, swords, discs, or coins, or whatever. What of the leadish color? Edward Kelly said, Now he seemeth to go down fair and softly from the house, down the little hill, and from thence goeth by a waterside to a rockish mountain. Edward Kelly said, He speaketh. The entity said, Ascend, I am now ready for you. Bring out your mattocks, spades, and shovels. Inig I veri eri. Edward Kelly said, Now come out of that rock 7 lean men with spades and shovels and mattocks and so on. The entity said, Follow me. Edward Kelly said, Now they come up to the foresaid hill. The entity said, Come on, dig till you find. Edward Kelly said, Every one standeth distinctly one from another, and they dig on the foresaid hill, which before seemed covered with earth and grass, but now it appeareth to be a rock, and they dig that the fire fleeth out again of their strokes, and some have broken their mattocks, some their spades, all except 2, one with a shovel, another with a pickaxe. The workmen say, O Lord, we labor in vain. The entity said, So you are sure to do unless you have better tools. The workmen said, Alas, we labor in vain. One of them said, This is long of you. The entity said, I had you provide instruments to labor with, but you asked not me, wherein you should lax bower? Oh, wherein you should labor. Okay, because there's something after the LA, and therefore have you digged away that which you saw, and have repulse with that you know not. A dark man thou art, and hidden from men, and so are thy doings. Edward Kelly said, They stood gazing on one another, and the lead entity said, Have you not better instruments? Go, provide yourselves, and return. Edward Kelly said, They run a great place to the foresaid rocky cave, from whence they came out first. Now they come again With great beetles of iron and wedges, they knock their wedges, as we use in wood, and so break off great slakes of stone, like slate, and throw it down the hill. One of them said, "What a thing is this, that this wedge is broken." Another said, "We are in worse case than ever we were, and in the margin we had." One of them said to the man covered with haircloth of ash color, "Oh, the dark man thou art." Okay. Excuse me. He said, "Their wedges are broken most part, and the fire fleeth out of the stone in great abundance." The entity said, "The nature of this stone is not to cleave, therefore if you have no other instruments, you must cease." Edward Kelly said, "They are in great disquietness among themselves." And the entity said, "Those that go on a journey provide them clothes against all weathers. He that is worthy of the name of a conqueror carrieth with him all engines. Where the bridges be broken down, he slayeth not, because he is prepared. Behold, he hath victuals from time to come, and a study is as well the event as is the means. So should true laborers do, considering what they work in, for the earth is a monster with many faces, and the receptacle of all variety. Go home, stand not idle, provide by arts for the hardness of nature. For the one sifter weepeth without the other." Edward Kelly said, "They go away speedily." And the entity said, "They have their tools to harden and their steels to temper. It will be more than an hour space before they return. Therefore may you spend the time in your necessity, and use the time of day as you are acquainted are wanted. I also must oversee them, or else their labor will be without fruit." Edward Kelly said, "Now he is gone." And he said, "Gloria Patre eo Filio eo Spiritus Sancta sicut erat," etc. Amen. Monday, the same day after dinner, we returned to our former purpose for God's service, to his honor and glory. Edward Kelly said, "He is here. Now the laborers be coming out. They have wedges made long and sharp, and pickaxes with 3 pikes very short. They say, our trust is that these tools will serve." Edward Kelly said, "They fall to work. They make like square holes, and put in their wedges, and break up the rock, or blackish stone, like iron mine, or magnus stone, in roundish lumps, as big as a 2-penny loaf, about 2 or 3 inches thick. They pick or dig round about the hole first, and so after use their wedges. The pickaxes have 3 heads, every pick thereof bigger than the other. The first as big as 1 finger, the second as 2, the third as broad as 4 fingers, and so after the first digging they fetch 3 or 4 cakes or pieces out of one hole, and then they go to another. Now one of them is fallen into the ground up to the armpits. Now another is fallen into the knees. Now the house standing there beginneth to shake and waver from one side to the other. Now the men be gotten out of the holes they stuck in." And the entity said, "Make an end of your labor." One of the workmen to the guide said, "It behooveth you to find a remedy, or to let us understand what remedy we shall find, that you may descend thence. For lo, the peril you stand in is great, for this rock was nothing else but a shell, whose kernel is a bottomless lake, and a mire quickeneth with some shut up water. You come hither as laborers, therefore make an end of your work, and stand not idle." the house fall, and I sink, then is your labor at an end. For the end of your labor is the fulfilling of my will and the promise which you have made me. One of them said, we are ready to do our promise, but we are more ready to provide that you may be amongst us, so you may be free from danger. The entity said, O you of little wit, are you not ashamed? Which of you dwelt within the secrets of this hill? Yea, which of you intendeth to fulfill his promise? Judge not a thing whereof you have no skill, neither be slack in that you have to do, for the one hath it his reward of idleness, and the other is condemned of rashness, for why? It springeth on her mother ignorance. They say, if we work, it is against reason, neither do our tools answer to this labor. Therefore, we had rather be idle than to labor about nothing. For to labor in vain is to do nothing. If we were determined to work, how should we perform our determination? Since the instruments of working want, gather up the pieces of your spades, that is, wood, and may be joined together. The elder and the baser they are, the fitter they are to turn up such foil. Edward Kelly said, there cometh a smith with a budget full of nails. One of them said to the smith, why hast thou there? The smith, what hast thou there? The smith said, nails. Edward Kelly said, they be like horseshoe nails. And the lead entity said, then canst, thou canst, thou camest in good time. Leave thy nails behind thee, and at thy return I will pay thee for them. See, God is not unmindful of us, for nails are the fittest things to further your work. Join, therefore, your spades and shovels together and labor. Edward Kelly said, now they are mending their spades and shovels, the iron of them being all off and broken. Now they work and throw away the earth like dirty sand, and the scuff of the earth flicketh to their spades and shovels. Edward Kelly said, one goeth behind and maketh a trench to let the water out from the sand. One of them said, how now have we found harvest in the midst of winter? Then he said, why, what have you there? One of them said, marry either alabaster or salt. Edward Kelly said, now one of them knocketh a piece off with a shovel end, and reacheth it up to his guide. Then he said, did I not tell you that the earth hath many faces? Edward Kelly said, they work now easily and cut up like salt or alabaster. Well, salt's a heck of a lot easier to cut, right? Now they have digged all the hill away, even to the house. Now the house seemeth builded up upon that white stuff. One of them said, if we dig any further, we shall undermine the house. Then he said, go to your business. Edward Kelly said, they work. And the entity said, soft, soft. Now labor with your hands, as softly as may be. Stand aside. Edward Kelly said, now he taketh one of the irons of their spades, and seemeth himself to pare the sides of the foundation under the house, and it seemeth to be a vessel of transparent glass, and having fire within it. And the lead entity said, The fear of the Lord is a burning fire, consumeth not, but rectifieth the body. The old dross is wipeth away, and the daily infliction of the flesh and sin it separateth from the soul. Behold, I say, he liveth not, but unto whom life is given. Neither is there any joy, but is ascending. For the end of joy is glory. The glory is the consummation of desire, and the beginning of felicity. No man entereth into joy, but by life. Neither is there any life, but the fear of God. Whosoever therefore hath the fear of God, let him draw near and come hither. Number exceedeth not, but by unities. Neither is there any multiplication, but by order. For the root of number is one, and things that ascend are dignified by order. Out of this vessel go 4 vents, ascending into that rock, which is the root, which is this building. It is said, Behold, let my spirit enter in, let there be separation made within the house of the north, that the earth may be divided into remembers. Cursed be that body that is not divided according to proportions, answering to the division, for she hath yet not cast off the shape of darkness. Edward Kelly said that there runneth up fire into the house from out of the round glass vessel under the foundation of the house. And in the margin of what the entity was saying, Timor Domini, ascension, separation. Edward Kelly speaking, and that fire maketh great noise through the black bright, our marble door, to be hard only. Now that north door is mightily thrown open, and there appear in the house like kernels of apples, and slime appeareth, and water thinner than slime, and there appeareth pure water else. Now there cometh together stuff like yellow earth, which the fire wrought out of the black earth, and the pure water runneth into that yellow stuff. And the entity said, Of that take apart. Edward Kelly said, The fire returneth again. Returneth back again among the stuff in that house, and there appear of all creatures some. Here is creation, and it is the first, said the entity. Creatish, in the margin. Edward Kelly said, Now he taketh a lump of earth lying by, which was thrown up, and he breaketh it into 6 pieces like round balls. Edward Kelly said, He taketh a thing like a vessel of iron, and putteth into it that mixture of yellow earth and water, and it looketh now like grass mingled with water. And the entity said, Thou art strong, and wilt beget a strong child. Edward Kelly said, Now he putteth out the earth which he put in, and it is a lump of gold. He giveth it him that standeth by. And that he said, So are the seeds of the earth. Edward Kelly said, Now he taketh the second and putteth it in. And that he said, Corruption is a thief, for he hath robbed thee of thy holy ornaments, for thou art weaker in the second. Edward Kelly said, He taketh it out, and it is as if it were pure silver. And he said, Where there is double theft, poverty ensueth, but notwithstanding thou art true, for thou givest unto everything as much as he desireth. Thou openest the greatest ability and strength of thy prayer, not such as it hath been, but such as it is. Edrico said, Now he putteth in the third ball. Thou must tarry, for thou art of an harder digestion, since thou art the third. Content thyself, for thou art not an inheritor. Edric said, He taketh it out, and giveth unto one of them that standeth by, that is a red metal like copper. Edric said, Now he taketh up another of the balls, and holdeth it in his hand, and said, Behold thy mother, heat is gone, and the enemy of life entereth. For he that passeth his middle age decayeth, and draweth to an end. And he said, Behold, thou shalt find a stepmother, for thou canst out of time. Edric said, Now he putteth it into the vessel. And then he said, Let cold cover thy face. Let the north truly beget thee, for thou art an enemy to thy predecessors. But thou art of great virtue, for of thy excrement shall virtue receive dignity, and thy virtue shall be a garland to nature. For thou shalt be visible when the other are silent. The seas shall not hinder thy virtue. Notwithstanding, thy virtue shall differ with the seas, for as they differ, so shalt thou. Edric said, Now he taketh it out. It is a ragged thing, like smith's cinder of iron, and it hath holes in it, as if it were spongy. Edric said, Now he taketh up another ball of earth, he putteth it in, and the entity says, Thou art tractable, and like unto an obedient daughter, but thou shalt be the fifth in the second, and as an instrument to the first. Edric said, Now he taketh it out. It is like unto a white wet stone. As he shaped it at the putting in, it is like tin. T-Y-N-N-E. That's 10, I think. Edric said, Now he taketh up another ball, and putteth it in, and said, Thou art the last that hath in himself, and by himself is being. Behold, thy face is like unto wax, but thy